Hi, John. How's it going?
Very well. How are you?
Very well. I wanted to start off. I really enjoyed this entire season.
Great.
Such an incredible mix of episodes and
Yeah.
settings. I
Yeah.
wanted to start off with the Strangers on a Train episode because it has a bit of a mini Sing Street reunion going on.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that film of yours. What was it like to bring Lucy and Jack back into the fold?
The problem with actors like Lucy and Jack is like you don't want to work with anybody else after you work with them because I know Jack very well. I'm getting to know Lucy. Why would you ever? I feel like things that I've written for 45, 50-year-olds, when I'm rereading them, I'm like, I should make these younger and just get Jack and Lucy to play them. I just get along with those people. It never feels like work. There are two actors that are like instinctive and gifted and it seems effortless, and we're not we it never it, we feel like we're excited to work with each other, and it feels a chat, it feels like we're learning things, but it never feels challenging, or it kind of feels like, why would I ever work? I mean, totally with Jack, but more so with Lucy in a way. It's like she does things that I only notice in the edit, 4 months later when I'm looking at her takes. I'm like, she did 6 things with her eyes there that I didn't even notice on a little monitor when we were filming this, that are like gold in the cinema screen or on the big screen. And that's very nice as a director when you get beaten, isn't the right word, but when you're like, oh, that actor is doing things that they didn't even tell me that they were doing, for me to see later on. Like, because everybody is looking for, a Scorsese De Niro relationship, or John Ford, John Wayne, or there's so many different examples of those kind of director, actor, or actress relationships. Once you find an actor that you love, it's like, why change that? If storytelling is your job and you've got two great, or a repertoire of great actors, I'd be happy to just keep going back to that well again. I love them both; they're great.
I've noticed that even with the first season as well, repeated collaborators, people that you seem to really enjoy working with. Who are some of your favorites, and what do they bring? What is that click that you feel with somebody where you're working together and this is somebody that is a favorite collaborator?
I feel like it is a effortless when it works. Actually, it's
Mhm.
there's a feeling of that you're like translating when you're working with an actor and it's not quite clicking. It feels like you have to translate everything, like both the actor and the director have to translate everything into another third language for you to understand it, and it slows everything down. So I have to say something, they don't get it, then I turn it into this, then they get it. And likewise, they're saying something and I don't understand what they mean, and so they have to translate it back into John Carney speak, whatever that is, and then I get it. But it's like, but with actors that you love and you connect with, it's like you just sort of smile and go again, and throw like one little thing their way, and they're like, got it, don't say anything more, and they go back to the take and they do take three. And it's like I remember with Kit Harington there was a thing I gave him on like one of the takes. Like he came back and said, how was that? And I gave him like 5 notes really quickly. It was like, it was great. Try this on this. One line didn't get that job. And the next take, like all 5 of those things were addressed in a row. And I was looking at the monitor going like, that's it. That's exactly. And it's like a good violinist or a pianist. You can say like, I need this at this bar, this here, you need to check. And they go back and they do it. And you're like, how'd they do that quick? Like I thought it would take 5 takes to get to where I wanted it to be. He's the guy that if he'd work with me, I'd work with him again and again and again, because it's like, the only word I can think is effortless. It feels like you're going to work the way you went to make films when you were like 16 with the camcorder and you're just having fun with your friends and people that you kind of shared laughs with and jokes with, and you were just making stuff together. and it really didn't feel like a job.
So we see there's a recurring Homes magazine, which seems to pop up almost in every episode. In this one in particular for Kit, you have a Game of Thrones reference, which I almost fell out of my chair when I saw it, laughing at. What do you think are some of, you weave together these episodes so well, what do you think are some of those sort of hidden things or Easter eggs that we should look out for throughout? How do they tie together?
I mean, I don't want to give them away because there are a few little Easter eggs in the episodes and weird things that we didn't plan that came together, that are these little sort of funny sort of little sort of gems and nuggets that we've disguised in the show, that we've hidden along the way. But again, a lot of them were due to the fact that we made a lot of this show, like everybody else, virtually. You know, we were never all together in the same room. I mean, very early we were before COVID, but the making of the actual show was made in these wild circumstances of being online and never being in the same room together. That in and of itself created a kind of not only a set of challenges, but also a set of little puzzles to figure out how we would make this feel like it wasn't just 8 completely different accidental stories, but to try and like tighten it all together and pull it all in so that it felt like there was one voice. And I think we've done a good job of that, certainly given the circumstances that we were in. I think it does feel like there's a coherent, cohesive voice behind these 8 different stories. I hope there is.
I think you've done an incredible job with it. I just want to say you bring in music extremely well, especially at this time. You know, that your bread and butter a little bit. The way you weave music in throughout these episodes, I think, is fantastic, and what you've done with the season.
Excellent. Well, that's a lot to do with Gary Clark, who's the main music guy in this show. He's just a legend. Worked on Sing Street, and we're working on a couple of things together. And he really helped. He really helped kind of put some cement between the stones, which was the music, and try and show the audiences, oh, here's one thing that's like a little clue to the fact that it's the same makers making this show, was in the music.
Thank you so much, and it's been such a pleasure hearing from you. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Charles. Take care. All the best.